midget says, look guys, look how little my hands are. I bet they're the smallest hands in the world. And they said, oh my God, your hands are small even compared to ours. The second midget puts his foot up. He said, look guys, see that little foot? I bet that's the smallest foot in the world. And they said, man, you got abnormally small feet, especially for a midget. Third little midget jumps right on the table and pulls out his little dick and says, look guys, can you even see it? And they're like, wow, that's gotta be the smallest dick in the world. So the next day they're hungover, they wake up and they say, you know what we should do? It's $10,000 if you get into the Guinness Book of World Records. Why don't we go down? Smallest feet, smallest hands, smallest dick, we got this, 30 grand, we're going to really have a party. So the first guy goes in, he comes out, hey, I got $10,000 check in his hand. I've got the smallest hands in the world, can you believe it? And they say, yeah, look how little they are. Second guy goes in and he comes running out with a check. Hey, I got the smallest feet in the world, $10,000. They get in there, little dick, you're gonna win. And he comes out and he's pouting and they said, what's wrong with you? He said, who the fuck's John Marziano? Love you, Johnny. Be easy on me. Thanks, guys.
Before a comedy show. That's pretty funny. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my good friend, John Marziano.
All right, I appreciate it, Jenny. Denny, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. So Jenny asked me to come up here a few months ago, and she said, Johnny, Denny's going to have this comedy night. Do you think that you can perform for 20 minutes? And so I said, yeah, I could do that. Well, my wife was standing next to me. She says, you haven't performed for 20 minutes since you were in your 30s. And I said, that's right. So she said, well, how about 10 minutes? Could you go for 10 minutes? So I looked at my wife, and she said, it's a stretch, but you could probably perform. So I asked the staff before I started, I didn't know what I would talk about. I didn't know if I would make fun of like some family jokes or what I would talk about. And so I asked the staff at Tours. I asked all 21 employees. I said, what should I do? I gave them multiple choice. I said, should I make jokes about family, about life? I gave them 3 choices, this or that. And everyone unanimously said, roast Denny. What was weird about it, that wasn't one of the choices. Anyway. So, the other irony to this is Denny asked me to do this. He asked for this. It's like inviting Dracula into your house. So, anyway, so when I first started working at Tours, people said, are you sure you want to work over there? Because, I didn't know Denny at the time, and I said, this is Denny Tour guy. He's really kind of a douchebag. and I've been there a couple years, and I'll tell you, he's not a douchebag. Consider him a friend, he's not a douchebag at all. He's kind of more of an asshole. Douchebag, not so much. Asshole, kind of. What's that? Yeah, all of you. Well, we have a good time there. Like she mentioned, there's a podcast. He has a podcast, Denny Eats the World, which is great. Maybe you should eat a few salads. Might be better. What else? So Denny, he's a busybody. By the way, these things I'm saying, he's probably going to nod and say, hey, he had me there. So he gets names wrong a lot. Like my check, week after week after week, says John Marizano, John Marizano, John Marizano. You're probably wondering, how's that a problem? It's not my name. It's not my name, but they catch it, so I don't complain. But it's funny. But it's only fair. And one night, and you probably remember this, I'm not even making this up. He was yelling, bro. He's like, bro, where's Sebastian? Where's Sebastian? We don't have a Sebastian. Right? Remember this? I'm like, who's Sebastian? And he's like, the delivery guy. I'm like, Samuel? This really happened. And which is, I guess it's only fair. I hear a lot of people, the employees, we get his name wrong a lot. I hear a lot of people calling him Dick. It's only fair. What else? So, yeah, he can be a little bit of a busybody, right? So then he will tell you that I talk a lot. I joke around a lot at work. And one day I'm back there talking to a few guys, and we're talking. What are you guys talking about, bro? And I'm like, we're talking about shrinkage. I'm sure everybody here knows what shrinkage is, right? A guy goes into the shower and gets smaller. And then he's like, well, what is that? What is that? shrinkage. How do you not know what shrinkage is? And then finally it dawned on me. It's because when he gets in his shower, it starts off small. What's that? It'll look crazy.
This is better than I didn't care.
No, so, I'm glad. I love Maria, so I'm thrilled that she's here. In fact, a few in between one of their times off, I said, Danny, now that you're single, right? How's your sex life? And he's like, well, I kind of think of myself as a Star Wars character. And I'm like, first thing came to my mind was Baby Yoda, but I said, well, which one are you talking about? Which one? And he's like, Han Solo. See, I told you I was going to do things, right? So just a few minutes ago, or half hour ago, Denny, and again, he knows this is true, he said, John, will you go grab the food up there? So I was like, he gives me his keys. So I just came up with this, because it just happened. And he's like, hey, will you go up the street and grab the food? I don't know why they didn't bring it. I said, yeah, I'll be right back. So I get in his car, I turn the car on, and the car and moves me all the way up. There's not even enough room for the airbag to go up. I'm like, what the heck? Does this haven't settled on garden gnome? There you go. So that was a Nick roast. So what else? So there's a lot of fun stuff happens at the restaurant. There's a girl there, Gianna. You know the two girls at the counter. A lot of you, I recognize a lot of your faces, but Gianna and Sophie. So Gianna is the younger of the two, and she, let's just say, she writes a lot of my material. She's hysterical, and she don't try to be, but she is. So one day she comes up to me and she says, John, I saw somebody walking a goat in a stroller. I said, okay, so there's a kid in a stroller, and she's like, no, there was a goat. And I says, no, I understand there's a kid in a stroller, and I realized at this point she doesn't know what a baby goat is, right? So Kevin will attest to this. He's like, come on, Johnny, let her in on this. And I'm like, come on, shut up. I got it. So finally I explained to her, listen, a baby goat is a kid. She's like, no, it's not. I said, it really is. It is. So I said, continue with your story. So she goes, it was the cutest thing. There was this black goat in the stroller. I said, there's a black kid in the stroller? She was like, no. She's like, listen to me. So she continues on. She goes, it was the cutest thing. It had blue eyes. And I said, that's weird, because black kids don't normally have blue eyes. So it's kind of weird. The joke just kept taking one level after that. She comes to me one day and she says, I'm going to Universal. I said, what are you doing this weekend? She said, I'm going to Universal Studios. I said, didn't you just go there last week? She says, yeah, but I have a Universal pass. I said, so why don't you go to Disney World? She goes, I can't. I said, I know, but it's a Universal pass. And she said to me, I can do that? For real, she wondered. So I thought it would be, I would love to be behind her in line at Disney while she tried to do that. But that didn't happen. So anyway, that's all I have. My name is John Marziano.
And a quick rebuttal. John Marziano, I can't spell. So John loves Donald Trump. Loves Donald Trump. So if John drives the Trump train, if Trump walked in, John would drop to his knees and open his mouth. It's like that. So in honor of your hero, Donald Trump, John, you're fired.
All right, you guys, Denny Torrentor and John